Now, I should mention, there was a question that kept nagging at me while I was watching this film. Why are we being told this story? Why Mark Kerr specifically? Because if you strip it down to the beats, this is a story we've seen a dozen times. A fighter at his peak of his ability, knocked down, dealing with substance abuse, fighting to hold on to relationships, fighting to hold on to himself. That's Rocky. That's The Fighter. That's Raging Bull. That's half of the sports movies ever made. So what's different here? Why was Benny Safdie drawn to this? Why did Dwayne Johnson want to tell this story so badly? And the answer, or at least the answer that I came away with, is that Mark Kerr's story isn't about greatness achieved and lost. It's about greatness barely within reach and slipping away before he even had a chance to hold it. It's not a rise, fall, redemption arc. It's more of a story about what if the rise never quite happened. Mark Kerr, from what I understand, was foundational. One of the guys who helped invent and popularize this thing that we all take for granted as the UFC. But he wasn't a household name. I'm young enough to the point where I don't remember a world where the UFC didn't exist. But there was a time when it wasn't around. And telling this type of story is compelling in its own way because it turns the spotlight on someone who history might have left in the margins. It's a story about fragility more than triumph, about how even giants can be crushed before the world ever really notices them. So yeah, The Smashing Machine was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and it mostly delivered. Dwayne Johnson is transformative, Benny Safdie proves that he can direct solo, and I'm beyond curious to see Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme later this year. Hopefully they reunite, but if not, two Safdie films in 1 year, I'll take it. As a sports film, it doesn't hit the highs of Warrior or The Fighter or even Rocky. But as a character study of a man who looks invincible but isn't, it's really strong, and I highly recommend it.